This short video will give you some insights into images of resilience that has been developed by EI for Change and RSVP Design Limited. RSVP Design are creators of experiential learning activities to support trainers and learning and development professionals across the globe. EI for Change specialises in training, personal development and coaching based around emotional intelligence, with a particular interest in how to develop resilience. There is very little good quality training material to support training activities in the area of resilience, and so, with this in mind, we created Images of Resilience as a metaphor-based toolbox that contains images representing resilience in a number of different ways and in different contexts. Images of Resilience integrates with other images series that RSVP Design have within their product portfolio. Images of Organisation looks at organisational development and the way in which individuals and teams work together in their organisation. Images of Customer Service looks at the customer service experience, particularly focusing on the sales process. And then, of course, there's Images of Resilience. Although each of the series of images looks very similar in construct, they should actually be used in completely different ways in order to get the best learning experience. A metaphor is a figure of speech. It describes the subject by comparing it to an otherwise unrelated topic. Metaphors include similes, parables, and analogies. The word metaphor comes from the Greek word amphora, which is a storage container used in transporting valuable goods. As we use metaphor as a means to transport meaning from one subject to another, the word metaphor is itself a metaphor. Metaphors can be very powerful because they actually allow difficult or sensitive subjects to be approached and discussed in quite a bit of detail. They provide a way for reluctant individuals to open up, to share their thoughts, to share their feelings, and to discuss their emotions without fear of conflict, without fear of criticism, and without fear of retribution. So they allow for quite cathartic conversations to take place at a very deep level, and they often lead to discussions around topics which may otherwise not be brought into the open. Images of Resilience as a toolbox consists of 3 sets of 16 different cards. These are A5 laminated cards of pictures represented as cartoons. This means that they're fairly accessible to everybody. Instructions with case studies are included in the pack with some suggested uses. Each individual card is given a description, and the set comes in an A5 plastic box. The 16 images within the Images of Resilience pack were designed to represent both pleasant and unpleasant emotional states that lead to the facilitation or to the draining of resilience within the focus of the workplace. The specific images are quite widely used and are popular representations of resilience. The image bouncing back shows some roly-poly toys which wobble when pushed and have the ability to right themselves or to regain their original position after being pushed around. No matter what happens to them, they're able to bounce to an upright position as if nothing's happened to them. New growth is symbolised by the plant growing in the barren landscape. Despite a barren, parched environment, life continues to flourish. There's new growth and there are new prospects. Out of adversity comes opportunity, and a new plant grows where others would fail to flourish. The 6 images symbolise the pressures and challenges of situations that require some resilience. They're looking at when resilience is needed. The first one is ambiguity and uncertainty. This is the trophy in the maze. The ultimate goal may be clear, but the way ahead is set with a number of different challenges that are unknown. There will be many changes of direction with many turns and even the need to go backwards at times before the end point is reached. Overcoming fear is symbolised with the roller coaster and the bungee jump. Individuals face a major personal challenge that may require them to overcome their fears. The risk is perceived rather than actual as the activity is assessed, safety checked and proven. However, individuals may tell themselves and others that they can't do it, so there's a mental barrier to overcome. Once achieved, there's a sense of exhilaration and achievement, and people actually enjoy the ride. Limited challenges are depicted by the never-ending staircase, with people going up and down and going nowhere fast. They're going through the motions, they're moving forward, but they're not making any progress. There appears to be no escape. It doesn't matter if the individual goes up or down the staircase, the situation doesn't change over time. Keeping focus is the treasure on the island surrounded by the pirate ships, the icebergs and the sharks. The ultimate goal is clear, but the way ahead is set with a number of different challenges and risks. However, these are known and they can be planned for. The goal is worth the effort, but it's unclear how long it's going to take. Each risk needs to be assessed and each challenge needs to be faced head-on and dealt with. Barriers to progress is depicted by the brick wall, the mountains, the barriers, the rivers, the red tape. Despite the willingness to make progress, individuals find themselves up against a series of external obstacles that appear to be insurmountable and are beyond their control. It's difficult to understand why they're there at times. And finally, risk. In this image, there's a sense of danger as an unprotected person is entering a toxic environment. There's a significant degree of personal risk involved, since the short-term and long-term outcomes of this action are not apparent. Risk could be good or risk could be bad, but often it's unknown at the time in which the risk is taken. The remaining 8 images show qualities and skills that can be developed to enhance resilience. The first image is endurance. The individuals are in a race to get to an end point, but they're being held back. At times it feels like they're taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. They have to jump over many hurdles and jump through a number of hoops, and this seems to involve doing more things than are strictly necessary. The man studying shows a level of tenacity despite many tempting distractions. And so he's good at self-management. The long-term achievement or outcome of the task is considered to be more important than his short-term gratification. The individuals playing basketball show determination. These people have overcome major adversity and are doing something that they enjoy. It's fun and competitive. They've faced life-challenging physical events and they've taken up new challenges to ensure that they can still enjoy themselves. The man sailing a yacht is in control. He knows the capabilities of his craft and he utilises all the available resources to sail skillfully across the harbour. Being in control means the yacht can be manoeuvred quickly and easily. The tree bending in stormy weather is showing flexibility. It's able to withstand the elements and to withstand change. It has the flexibility to bend in high winds and to flourish. Others have different reactions. Some find the situation uncomfortable and they huddle together, while some people actually ignore reality. The ostriches bury their heads in the sand. Migrating animals show drive and determination. Motivation is the driving force that leads them towards their destination. Animals have an internal compass and a herding instinct that drives them to make journeys of many thousands of miles across unfamiliar terrains, to breed, seek food, or to live in more favourable environments. People seek guidance. The picture shows a light that acts as guidance for the person on the road by illuminating a way forward. The road twists and turns with many branches, and people are travelling along various routes. There are choices on the routes, with the light shining to provide a clear direction. The levels of stress that we cope with will differ from person to person. The person in the final picture is able to cope despite various time pressures and a variety of demands. Tolerating a certain amount of stress is normal. There should be sufficient challenge for people to feel stretched in order to develop, and balance so that they can cope. Some of the images will have absolutely no meaning for some people, and some of the images have a very clear meaning. When people talk about an image that they've selected, they may talk about the metaphor with a great degree of depth, and that often goes beyond the original idea shown. People can really explore quite a lot around resilience, what it means for them, and what it means for their teams, and what it means for their work. Images of resilience can be used in one-to-one coaching, group work, and team exercises. Each image needs to be explored and understood from an individual perspective, so it's well worth getting people to really think about what resilience is, what it means for them, and what the image is showing. There are instructions for use and case studies within the pack, but we found many different ways of using them, incorporating them into our workshops and coaching in a variety of different manners. The key to using images of resilience well is to give people the time to explore, to debate, and to discuss what each image means for them personally. Any strong emotions that are evoked by the images can be explored to get more information about the person's reactions and ultimately what this means for developing their resilience. Challenging people to think deeper about these images in the metaphors have given rise to insights far beyond those expected. On many occasions we found that these weren't even considered within the design of the toolbox. The 16 picture cards are accompanied with supporting notes and a series of questions which explain the original thinking behind the choice of image. Of course, they're open to individual interpretation. They're a stimulus for ideas which can lead to new, deeper insights. In working with the toolbox, as I said earlier, some people respond positively to some of the images, while some images have little significance for them. Often recognition could simply be a remembered experience. It's been observed that this is predominantly related to overcoming some difficulty in some context. Sometimes the connections are very obvious to a person, and sometimes there's confusion as they're unable to make any connections. This is where the coaching questions become very relevant and useful. So how can you get hold of a set of images of resilience to support your training and coaching? The easiest way is to contact RSVP Design directly on the telephone numbers given on this slide, or through their website www.rsvpdesign.co.uk. I hope you've found this very short presentation useful, and I hope it's given you some insights and ideas as to how you can support your training around resilience. If you'd like further information about EI for Change and the work that we do around resilience and emotional intelligence, here are our contact details. Do feel free to get in touch through any of the social media platforms. It will be good to hear from you.